4 crucial factors that simplifies real estate investment. Number 1 is location. Now, location is very key when it comes to real estate investment. That's the first thing that you want to consider. And then the type of investment you want to go into, the purpose for buying that property would also determine the location. Okay, so if you're acquiring a property for residential purpose, you may want to look out for amenities like schools, hospitals, marketplaces, neighborhood desirability, amenities that just make life comfortable for residents in such locations. Okay, so that's what you want to look out for when acquiring properties for residential purpose. Now, when it comes to acquiring properties for commercial purpose, you may want to look out the layout. Okay, is this area mapped out for industrial purpose? Is it mapped out for industries? Now, Ibejuleki, for instance, have been mapped out by Lagos State government, some parts of Ibejuleki actually for industrial purposes. Now, such locations are not fit to raise structures for residential purpose. It will just be a total health hazard if you go buy a property in such location with the intention of living there or making it a residential place for rental purpose. It will just be a total hazard if you do that. Okay, so it is very important that you look out for the purpose for that location, the purpose of your investment, and the best location for the purpose of your investment. So if you're doing commercial comes in different forms. It could be commercial real estate for residential, commercial real estate for the purpose of rentals. You want to rent out hospitals, you want to rent out schools, you want to build to rent out for schools, for hospitals, for shops, for offices. That will also be in a location for residential purpose, even though it is the purpose of investment is for commercial. Now, commercial also diversifies into industrial purposes. You want to build industries, you want to have warehouses. It is best that you look out for locations where such investment befits it. So do not go buy plots of land in an area that is mapped out for industrial purpose. Okay, so location is very, very key. It is very crucial to assess the intending use of such location. What are the intending use is very important, because some locations today that seem habitable, that seem okay for residential purpose, in future may not be the actual government use of that location. So it is very important that you do your due search before you invest in any location at all. Now, the second desirability, or the second crucial factor that simplifies real estate investment, is valuation of the real estate. Valuation. And what do I mean by valuation? I mean having a pre-informed knowledge of how much the property you are acquiring will be worth. Valuation, you value it. You have a pre-informed knowledge of how much the property that you are investing in is going to worth in few years time, in 5 years time, in 10 years time. You could actually get the valuation of that property. Okay, it is pointless by any means to buy an expensive property today and then the return on investment is really low, small compared to the amount that you're buying. But you can also look at locations where you're buying today. It is quite cheap, reasonably cheap, but have high potentials of appreciation rates over time. So it is important that you do your value appreciation search before investing in any location at all. Investing in untapped locations like Epe and Ibejuleki, where property acquisition as at today is relatively cheap but has good huge return on investment in future is the wisest thing to do when it comes to real estate investing as of today in Lagos State. Okay, and at Ehi Kings we have properties in such location that you can actually invest in today and have huge return on your investment, have good value for your investment in the shortest time possible. Number 3 crucial factor to consider before investing in real estate is what is the purpose of your investment, the purpose for your investment. Now, understanding the purpose for your investment would determine, I said that earlier, would determine the type of property you want to buy and will also determine the location of that property. Determining the purpose of your of your investment will assist you in having or making the best option and also gaining a better understanding of the situation as at today concerning that property. Okay, if for instance you want to acquire a property for the purpose of a warehouse or for the purpose of an industry, for instance, you will want to look out for commercial locations, land that have been mapped out for commercial purpose, not for residential. Okay, or acquiring a property for residential purpose, you will want to look out for locations that have been mapped out for residential purpose. Now, some locations, if you go establish hotels, it could be a residential location, but putting up a hotel there for commercial purpose, even though it is meant to be residential, may not huge return because you may not have patronage because of the location and the kind of people that live there, or the settlement there. People may not want to go there to lodge, to stay, So having a good understanding, a clear understanding of what your investment need is, the purpose, will help you get the right location for your investment. And when you get it right with location, every other thing that comes with investment, you're going to benefit from it. Getting the right location gets you a huge return on your investment. It also helps to appreciate the value of the property that you have acquired. Now, number 4 crucial factor that you should consider before any real estate investment is you want to consider your budget. What is your budget? How much do you have at your disposal to invest? If you have, say, ₦1 billion, you want to invest in properties that either you want to invest in buildings, or you want to do land banking, buying large hectares, large expanse of land, leaving it to appreciate over time. Okay, but if you have, just say, like 10 million naira, you also will not be considering buying a house, because 10 million naira will not get you a house. Anybody that gives you a house for 10 million naira, run. That's scam already. Okay, so the budget that you have will determine the type of investment, type of property you want to acquire, and location too. You cannot have 10 million naira and you want to buy property in Ikoyi, Banana Island. Come on, there's no sense there. But you can have 10 million naira and invest in Ibejuleki and invest in Egbe and still have huge return on your investment. So whatever level that you have, whatever budget that you have, it is good to start with, on your real estate investment, and over time you can increase, and over time you can look out for other locations that are pricey, but still ensure that you have a clear budget as to the kind of investment you want to go into, so that you don't get stuck along the way, so that you don't get trapped along the way. Now, you've seen a lot of people start up structures, buildings, massive big structures, and at the end of the day maybe after some time they're not able to complete it because they're stuck in between the projects, not having enough funds to complete it. That's not wise. That's not wise. And in most cases, they sell off at distress sales, even lesser than the investment, than the initial investment. That's not a wise thing to do. Okay, so before you invest, ensure that you have your budget spelled out. How much do you have at your disposal? If you have other sources of income that brings you money, what is the inflow? How frequent is the inflow? How much comes in for you to invest over time? So you must take due consideration on this factor. It is very, very crucial, so that you don't get stuck along the way, and you don't put yourself under unnecessary pressure. Okay, this will help you a great deal to be realistic about the property that you want to invest in. Now, when determining your budget, remember that some properties come with extra charges. Okay, I have had instances where people buy land from us, and then you tell them about the extra charges, and they're like, oh, I didn't know about extra charges, I didn't know about developmental fees, survey, or legal documentation. Acquiring land comes with those extra fees. Now, it is important that you know all of these and factor them into your budget before you go into any form of investment, so that you don't get trapped, you don't get stuck, and you buy at your convenience, you buy at ease, and you are smiling. So people have actually gotten themselves involved in investment that at the end of the day it looks so much like a pressure, stress on them. You don't have to do that. You don't necessarily have to do that. Okay, so it is important that you take that into consideration. Now, I'll give an instance of this point I just made, having a budget. Now, someone called me up and said he wants to buy a property, in one of our estates, Perfect Garden Estate, Eleko, which is currently selling for 5.5 million naira. And he has just 3 million naira to invest, and wanted to spread payments over 2 years. Come on, 2 years. And I'm like, in 2 years, that property would have appreciated, if not up to 7 million or 10 million. And you want to tie that property down now with 3 million naira. That's not a wise thing to do. It's not wise on us as a company, and it's not also wise on you as the investor, because in those 2 years you're not even sure if you're going to meet up in 2 years paying 2 million naira. And I advised him, why not go for Ekpe? At that time, Ekpe was selling for 1.5 million naira. Invest that 3 million in Ekpe, where you can buy 2 plots. At Eleko you buy 1, but Ekpe you buy 2 plots for 3 million naira. And I'm pretty sure that in no time that investment would yield so much return, even as much as the Eleko. That's just the best thing to do. So invest with the budget that you have, and invest it wisely, conveniently, so that you don't put yourself under unnecessary pressure, and don't put yourself under unnecessary pressure because you want to invest. Have a budget for your investment, and ensure that you do it wisely with the right counsel. Okay, so I've spelled out 4 crucial factors that you may want to consider before investing in real estate. They are very simple, and they are very, 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 very essential before you make any form of real estate investment. Beautiful thing about real estate is it helps you to diversify your portfolio. Okay, while you have other businesses running, you can also have real estate investments by the side, and make it your major form of investment, because of return on investment is huge. It is massive. Now, when inflation hits anytime, any day, inflation doesn't have anything to do with real estate. Rather, it helps it to appreciate really fast. That's one beautiful thing about investing in real estate. Now, a very sound real estate investment can provide consistent cash flow for you, and an opportunity to make a whole lot of money in the long run. Think investment today, Think real estate investment for your future and now. And when you do that, when you want to invest, think a King's Real Estate and Construction Company. Remember that we are here to help guide you. We are here to help you start your real estate investment journey, to make it seamless, hassle-free for you, so that you can just sit back, relax, and be earning return on investment. Okay, my name remains Betel Ehikoya. Look out for my next video. Think a King's Real Estate and Construction Company always will say, invest with us today. If you do, you surely will smile tomorrow.